Good afternoon, everyone. I will call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Ways and Means Committee to order. I'm the chair of the committee, Abdi Warsami, and I have with me on the dais Council members Cunningham, Fletcher, Council member Palmisano, and Vice President Jenkins. We are a quorum of the committee and therefore can conduct our business today. Today on the consent agenda, we have 23 items for consideration, and they are as follows. Item number 1 is a legal settlement, Eddie Knight versus the City of Minneapolis. Item number 2 is a legal settlement, claim of Octavia Ramirez. Item number 3 is a legal settlement claim of Christopher Schulte. Item number 4 is the 2019 Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS contracts with Metropolitan Council Housing and Redevelopment Authority, Just Us Health, and Claire Housing. Item number 5 is a bid for the Eastside Facility Fuel Deposit Project. Item number 6 is a lease with 2700 East 28th Street LLC for Fire Department Employee Assistance Program. Item number 7 is a collective bargaining agreement, and this is for the Building Trades Unit 2019 through to 2022. Item number 8 is a contract amendment with Minnesota Legal Aid for legal representation to low-income Minneapolis tenants. Item number 9 is a partnership application to the NEA Our Town program. Item number 10 is a lodging tax rate adjustment. Item number 11 is the 2020 license fee schedule. Item number 12 is grants from the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development and the Metropolitan Council's tax-based revitalization account for the spring 2019 Brownfield grant round. Item number 13 is a contract with Grandma's Marathon for Minneapolis Department Bomb Canine Services. Item number 14 is a grant from the Minnesota Department of Commerce for Minnesota Auto Theft Prevention Program. Item number 15 is the Minnesota Board of Firefighter Training and Education Training Academy reimbursement. Item number 16 is the Minneapolis Department Cooperative Agreement with the 4th Judicial District Court for Drug Court Program Enforcement. Item number 17 is the agreement with Mississippi Watershed Management Organization for 8th Street South Reconstruction Project. Item number 18 is the 33rd Street East and 35th Street East, Hiawatha Avenue to Minnehaha Avenue Street Reconstruction and Resurfacing Project, Construction Services Agreements. Item number 19 is the University of Minnesota Protected Bikeways Project Appropriation Increase. Item number 20 is the Engineering Services Agreement with Black and Viech for Fridley Softening Plant Lime Slacker Replacement and Storage Upgrade Project. Item number 21 is a contract amendment with Black and Viech for design and construction engineering services for the tunneled water main under the Mississippi River. Item number 22 is a contract amendment with Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc. for Hennepin Avenue Street Reconstruction Project. And item number 23 is a bid for the 10th Avenue Southeast River Bridge Rehabilitation Project. And I'll move all items for approval. Do any of my colleagues have any comments or discussion? Or would like to remove any items? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. And those items have been approved. Now, next is our discussion item, and this is item number 24. And this is the Public Service Building Project Update. And we have Mr. Greg Goki and Mr. Mark Ruff on the bench, if there's any questions. Go ahead, Mr. Goki.
Chairman Morsami, committee members, I'm Greg Goki of Finance and Property Services, and today we hope to give you a brief update on the Public Service Building Project and answer any questions you may have. I'm joined today by Eric Amel of MSR Design, Darren Knapp and Rob Aldendorf of Mortensen Construction, Mary Altman, our Public Art Manager, Don Baker and Vincent Therian of Human Resources, who will be leading our transition management into the new building. Throughout the project, we have revisited our strategic concept to make sure that all major decisions are aligned with our intended outcomes. It has been our standard practice to follow the LEED standards of quality and environmental stewardship to ensure the building is sustainable and healthy for our occupants. New to this project is the Fitwell program that places a higher emphasis on employee health and wellness. We are also benchmarking this building on energy performance with the SB 2030 with the goal of an alternate compliance path. The overall carbon footprint will be reduced by installing high-efficiency cooling, heating, and lighting systems, and being further reduced by investments in solar production on the roof, triple pane glass in the building exterior, and renewable energy purchases. Also new to this project, we will be piloting a portion of the Living Building Challenge with an emphasis on avoidance of red list materials and supplies that are harmful to the environment and human health. Some of the features in the building from an architectural standpoint, one of our design goals was to create connectivity between floors so departments could work together more collaboratively and informally throughout the building. These featured spaces are referred to as the double height collaboration spaces. They're shared between departments and connect floors throughout the building. The public service area will be located on the Skyway for ease of access and visibility. This area is designed to meet and greet the public and provide high transaction and collaborative services in one location. As part of our overall office floor planning, we have placed a variety of large and medium-sized conference rooms right off the public elevators in what we refer to as the H corridor. These conference rooms are envisioned to work with the public as well as interdepartmental meetings. Conference rooms for the building and City Hall will also leverage the conferencing center on the main floor of the building. The space can handle up to 180 people and can be divided into 5 smaller spaces. We are also pleased to announce that we've reached an agreement with Be Graceful Bakery and Catering to serve as a concessionaire for the building. Be Graceful is a locally owned minority business enterprise. We are investing over $2 million in public art, and I will ask Mary Altman at this time to give you an update on our public art.
Mr. Chair, council members, there are a number of public artworks planned for the office building, including this suspended kinetic lobby sculpture by Tristan Al-Haddad, which will move in connection to real-time data gathered about Minneapolis climate and the Minneapolis sky. There are also artist design glass pieces on the 10th floor, and on the 2nd floor, there are 5 conference room murals in those conference rooms that Greg just pointed out to you on the employee floors. There are 7 illuminated elevator lobby ceilings, and we are also restoring the Great Seal and reinstalling it on the 1st floor. So this is the piece, Current Conditions by Tristan Al-Haddad. As I said, it will be a moving kinetic piece, and it moves in relationship to the real-time data related to the Minneapolis climate and Minneapolis sky.
How do that?
These are the...
I think Councilmember Palmisano has a question about the art.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Altman, I'm reminded by this of something that I saw in the City of London's City Hall, where they also have a moving exhibit, and they do speak about different aspects of air pollution, climate change, that sort of thing. And an important component of that is also education as to what is being measured and what that's about. Is there that educational component to this particular piece from Tristan Al-Haddad?
Mr. Chair, Councilmember Palmisano, yes, we plan to do an educational piece, probably a kind of video type piece in the lobby area, as well as we'll have educational pieces on all of the public artworks.
Thank you.
The artist design glass pieces are to promote bird safety. The first piece, Lines of Flight, is imagery based on bird flight migration. That is, both of these pieces are designed by Futures North, Minneapolis. The 10th floor will be a ceramic frit. And then also on the Skyway connecting the Hennepin County Government Center to the new building will be a vinyl bird safe design that is about human migration. That's called Lines of Flight and is a design based on data related to when different populations of people came to Minnesota, as well as data related to Native tribes. The employee floors will feature 2 works, elevator lobby ceilings, which are illuminated, and conference room floors. These are 2 conceptual designs, one by Alexander Tilovich of illuminated fingerprints for the 9th floor, which is the police floor, and a piece by Aaron Marks, which is a topo map of the Mississippi River as it winds through Minneapolis, and that's by Aaron Marks. There's also going to be 5 conference room murals. All of the mural projects have intense community engagement processes, which are going on right now, and those artists will present their conceptual designs in the fall. There's a lot of engagement going on with the community and also with staff. We have a public art committee consisting of staff people that are advising the project, and there's a staff person from each of the departments that'll be moving into the building. They've been doing work with employees and meeting with employees, and artists have also been working with the community, and we have a public meeting tomorrow night at Crown Roller Mill at 6 o'clock, where some of the artists will share their designs, and the mural artists will be doing community engagement activities. One of the coolest projects that is connected to the new office building is the restoration of the city's seal, which, thanks to Mr. Goki, has been preserved, and the city has been storing since about 1990. And this is being conserved by a conservator, and it will be reinstalled, and City Communications is doing a detailed video about the conservation and reinstallation process, as well as information about what is a city seal and the history of this artifact.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chair and members of the Ways and Means Committee, my name is Dawn Baker. This is Vince Therian. We're both part of the HR department, and we are helping manage change around the new building. So I'd like to give you an update of our activities and our progress with change management. I wanted to just present our overall strategy and plan and describe it a bit to you. We are following a change management methodology called ADKAR, which is an acronym that stands for awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement or rewards. And as you can see, we have been ramping up our activities really since 2017 and earlier. And as we head into our final year or so, we'll really be ramping these activities up. So I'd like to just quickly give you a snapshot of some recent undertakings that we have been doing to help employees develop along all of these pieces. Awareness in terms of why we need this change, why we're going into the new building, why decisions have been made, et cetera. Desire, which has got to do with motivation. And you would think, wow, bright, shiny new building, where would be the issue with that? But many of our employees have worked in more closed office conditions for a number of years, higher cubicle walls, enclosed offices, et cetera. And they don't really have the perspective or the context to know that many other people are successful in working in quite different ways with the open office environment. And so it's really helping them understand, figure out what those challenges are going to be, and then making some ground rules and some other kinds of agreements amongst their teams so that they'll be able to do this and manage the distractions and other kinds of pieces that they are concerned about. So that's the desire piece. And then knowledge and ability and reinforcement obviously will continue to be planted and communicated and programmed throughout. But those are the two big hurdles that we want to get people over, that awareness and that desire, and that's really what we've been focusing on so far. Let me tell you a little bit about our recent activities. Most recently, just about a month ago, we hosted something we called furniture tours. And this was in conjunction with Greg and his team, his facilities team, and others, with our design advisory team involved too. But we had over 200 people, over 250 people attended the tours, meaning we had mock workstations set up in a large room in City Hall so that folks could come in and try them out and give us some feedback. We gave them a survey to respond to. And we had lots and lots of feedback. Everybody is really excited about the sit-to-stand workstations, for example. But people are concerned about increased distractions and noise with the lowered cubicle walls and the more open piece of it. So we spent a lot of time educating them and also received their feedback, collated that, and got that back to our design advisory team, where they'll use that to make some final recommendations and choices on workstation configuration. Secondly, we've been working very closely with Andrea Larson to develop a plan and a staffing proposal, because we need to transform how the city provides service to the public. With this new second floor public service space, we have the opportunity to transform our service delivery model. And what it means is we'd like to have some positions that would be capable of answering simple questions and performing simple transactions on the behalf of a number of departments in the city. Rather than having each one belong to one of those departments, you can see how that would be much more efficient and pleasing to the public, that any person that you met with could mostly help you and then be able to triage you to a subject matter expert if they weren't able to completely transact your business. That's going to take, obviously, some change from a current state to a future state. And so we've put together a plan and some steps that could get us from current to what we're envisioning with that. Third, we just got ourselves seated with some of our project champions and sponsors, including Mr. Goki, and did a midstream assessment. How are we doing with the degree of sponsorship of the project, with how it's being managed, and also how we're doing with the change piece. And it yielded a number of insights. We really do need to step up the visibility of the champion, which we're seeing is Mark Ruff, and he's going to be doing a little bit more with communication and making him more visible and active as a champion as we go. So that's an exciting development, and we'll be making some other adjustments and really, again, beefing this up into our final year. And then just a quick example of how we're really turning the corner from building design to how we will operate in the new building. And so just a quick example of that is we devised some guidelines for how people could use the quiet rooms that are being planned for the 10th floor, and also the lactation facilities on the 10th floor. And just a quick example of what we'll need to do from both a macro level and a micro level to help people be able to, again, operate efficiently and effectively in their new environment. All right, that's my presentation. What questions do you have?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sure at times it seems like I'm always here with contracts and contract amendments, but it is kind of the nature of construction management as an advisor delivery model and the size of this project. But to date, here are a summary of our individual bid packages, as we refer to them. And these are contracts including any amendments that you've approved to date. And we are still have approximately half of our construction contingency remaining for any future amendments or corrections that we need to make in design or construction as we move forward. Our current project schedule has slipped a little bit, and we are looking right now to start moving people in on the lower levels of the floor approximately the third week in October. We are working with Mortensen to look at things that we may be able to accelerate our schedule. The cost of those items might be overtime. working Saturdays and Sundays and so forth. And we will weigh those against the cost of our lease spaces, potential short-term moves for staff and so forth, with the idea that we'll come up with the best combination for the enterprise. And with that, I'm completed, and if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Goki. Wonderful presentation. And I have a question from Councilmember Fletcher.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One of the things that I remember from an earlier presentation, and I wanted to see how it's shaking out now that we're seeing how departments are actually envisioning using the space, and we're sort of figuring out the layouts a little more. How much unused space is there in this building, or are we really building something that we're already going to fill right up before we account for any potential growth in the future?
The council member Fletcher and Chairman Morsami, the 7th floor of the building is just a shell floor for future growth. It would cost approximately plus or minus $4 million to finish that space out, plus furniture on top of that. There are some spaces we have planned on future growth for every department at approximately 2 to 5% to take care of short-term growth. Also, if you look at the collaboration stairs, the idea is that maybe some folks that work together from different departments could be placed more on the floors at the ends where you can work together and capture some of that space if one department needs a few extra seats and has to be on another floor. As far as the efficiency of the floor print, I mean, we had a tight site. And as you see the 2 stair towers emerge from the foundation, and we have an open office concept, there isn't, which you would say, underutilized or wasted space on any floor.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from the committee members? Oh, I think you've answered everybody's questions, so thank you very much, Mr.
All right,
Goki,
you're welcome.
for the presentation. And I move to receive and file this update from on the Public Service Building Project. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? And that is done, and we have concluded our business for today. Thank you very much.